everybody, hello, I'm so sorry I'm a little bit late. I accidentally just did another live by accident. I set it up and then it went wrong and I had nobody there and I thought this is clearly not live I set up. So sorry about that. You will probably see a short little live of about 5 seconds of me just trying to figure out if this was the wrong live. Turns out it was the wrong live, but you are on the right live, so it's fine. You're on the news show. So I'll just quickly look at those comments because I think we had quite a few comments there. But yes, you're on the right news show and we've got so much different news today. Like seriously, I don't know if these comments are working. We've got like so many different newses. No. Those are our comments now, we can go back to them now. Today's been quite messy, like, I don't know if you know, but I think what we're on free, then, you know, like the Wi-Fi thing, and it's been so messy today. I think other people have had the same problem and it's been like a nightmare. But we're okay now and we're going to show you all the cracking news we've got. So I'm going to have a little chat about the fact that we've sorted 2 steam trains this week. I actually saw my first, the comments have come up, and I've seen the first steam train of the year, which was actually filling up with steam, which was the Royal Scot. And we actually saw it not filling it with steam, filling it with water, sorry. We saw that, so you can actually see the full video, and we also interviewed the wagon driver, so the guy who actually brings the water to fill it up with, which was very interesting, and we also went on the footplate and interviewed the drivers, which is obviously wonderful and interesting. As you can go see that, it's already been doing brilliantly, so it'll just be like the first 2 videos I've done. And we also just literally about, I think it was 4 o'clock today, we went to Ribblehead and saw another steam train, which we haven't edited yet, hence the reason why the video isn't out. But we will do, and we went inside the classic car. We went inside in the Austin, the blue one, and we went in there and we sort of, you know, we didn't really think by the fact that we're going inside the classic car and it's slower, and we looked at the fuel gauge on the way and it was a bit low, so we decided we needed to have to go to a fuel station, which happened to be Asda's fuel station, which we will talk about, because I was already reporting about Asda's fuel stations, which I'm going to be my first piece of news I'm going to tell you. But we went there and basically, long story short, we got to this Ribblehead and we saw the steam train coming over Ribblehead before we were even near the station. So we had to be quite fast to get to this steam train. It was Tangier, Tangier, wasn't it? Yeah. And we managed to get to her in time, and she was absolutely wonderful, as obviously all steam trains are. But we managed to get her inside time, didn't we?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was those quick comments? And
I'd spoken to Neville before and just said that the news was touch and go, so he's put few of the news was touch and go tonight. Apparently we have a dongle, and apparently I rang he couldn't get through to 3, but I rang 3 at Lancaster and they said that loads were down, even the phone lines you couldn't get through. So we went to film the Tangier, got back, and it just started working as soon as we got back. So yeah, we were on.
Hopefully it stays working for the rest of the night.
Yeah. If it goes off, there's nothing we can do. It's just 3 apparently. They're having loads of problems.
But to be honest with you, we constantly have problems with them. But you know, it's like life, isn't it? But yeah. But anyway, we've got so much cracking news to tell you. Loads of different, really, really like ones that are just like really different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that you can interact with.
Yeah, so this one, I've got quite a lot, like literally I think pretty much, actually all of them, we're going to think of it. What news can you not interact with? But we want all of your opinions on these news stories. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is Asda, which I just mentioned before. We did go to an Asda fuel station today, and I'm going to talk to you about the reason why, I'm going to talk to you about Asda's fuel station is the fact is that what they're doing is their plan is to go fully cashless on their fuel stations. So Asda has announced that they're fully going cashless at 82 more of their UK stores. They've already done it on 14 from the time of December, and they're planning on doing on 68 by summer. And they've already done 150 stores altogether, and you can find out if you want to. There is a full list of whose stores are going cashless, which will be the 82 stores which are going cashless. I've got a few here. We've got which one's that one?
Bradford.
We've got Bradford, Bolton, Nottingham, and Cardiff Bay and York. I think Lancaster one, which is the most nearest us, I think that's cashless, isn't it?
That was already cashless.
Yeah, that one's been for years. That one has been for years, like before.
But a lot of people are saying, even though they have been known to be Kendall's cashless. Is this the step forward to the whole supermarket being cashless? So it just thought it was interesting people's views on it.
I think as Neville just put fact about Kendall, saying about Kendall.
Yeah,
and I'll just show you a picture of it, and then I'll talk more about.
How long's Kendall been cashless for, Neville? I think I can remember going. I think about 10 years ago. I don't often go to Kendall, but I think when Billy was driving, it was cashless. So that must be driving test, 7 years ago.
What one of the main points is, because obviously there's loads of different points. This is the fact of obviously getting rid of the cash, but then there's one bit which is more like personal to everybody. It doesn't matter what your opinions about cash sort of thing, which is some drivers feel about the fact of the ring gate thing. I don't know if you know about this. I'm going to roughly explain to you how I know about it. I did not know about this before doing this doing this news story, and I found out about it today, and I thought, God, that's weird. Well, this is what they do if you don't already know. Basically, what you do is, because if there's no man there, so you basically don't hand over your cash, you'll pay for your cash before you put your fuel in, and they'll take £99 out of your account. And they'll take it out no matter if you get like £50 of fuel or whatever.
I think that even if you get a fiver.
Yeah, even if you get a fiver, they take out £99 of your fuel. £95 of your money, sorry, and you don't get that back for a while, and usually it can be like 5 days or a week or something.
Well, it's supposed to be up to 5 days, but where does that money go? Does anybody know where that money goes? It's a lot of money, isn't it?
What it does is it leaves the people that you going, empty, out pocket when it comes to it, because obviously you're £99 down for a week, and which obviously for a lot of people can be quite horrific.
It's a lot of money.
But see, the thing is also, if you're going, say if you get some fuel on Monday and then you go back on Thursday, on Tuesday and everything, then that's a lot, and you're in a fuel station, then you think about it, that's all that money you're just going to keep taking out of your bank and then going back in again. And it's a bit weird because of, it's find it with, it's not really that relatable, but like the post office thing, technology can play up, and if it plays up, then they could
look at us
scan
today. When our dongle didn't work. Now I know we're on a dongle, but a lot of people will be just on their phones. And so if you didn't have any cash today, and I paid by my phone, which I never do, I try my best to pay with cash everywhere. If I can't pay with cash, I pay with card. I don't know how to pay with my phone. But a lot of people, you see them in the supermarket and they just go phone. Well, if they're on 3, if there was no cash, they just can't buy.
But
that's it.
like, if the system goes down, then that means that the chances are that money could disappear. So then everybody that's just gone to Asda, they've lost their £99.
Well, I think it was called Steve, wasn't he?
Yeah,
was
it's on the
complaining on
second page.
Twitter.
Yeah, Steve says on X, formerly known as Twitter. I don't know why.
So can I just say something without going off? Well, before you read that, without going off subject. With the banks going now, Barclays have gone, and everybody like that.
Yeah, our local Barclays gone.
Steve, she'll tell you what he says on Twitter, could have walked in.
I think it's Paul.
Sorry, Paul, I don't know where I've got Steve from anyway. But he could have walked into a bank, couldn't he, and said, look, my money is not there. But now when it's digital, how do you get through? And you're on a phone line, which usually goes abroad, and some of them can't understand what you're saying. And it's just an absolute nightmare. It's just getting worse and worse.
Well, also,
and so he's taken to Twitter, hasn't he, to try and get his money back.
But I suppose also, as I say, I want you to all commenting for this. I want your points.
You've got a lot of comments.
But do you want to do that, and then I'll carry on talking?
Are you sure you were just on a roll? But
I finished talking.
You would be on a roll.
I finished talking
half and then.
No. I'm on a roll.
You tell me.
But I mean, what you think is like, I'm dyslexic, so if I'm online, then I'm just like, what? And then sure, you can be on the phone to somebody, but still, you don't know all the technical stuff. It's a lot more different, and also you always speak differently when you're on the phone than in person. It's better to be actually in person than being, having to, and also when you're in person, you can say, look, this is what it says on my phone, and they can, say, oh, look at that, yeah, I get what you mean. But I mean, I just found it mind-boggling. The fact is that they just take £99 out of your bank. The only thing I could think of is, not saying about that. I mean, I think why wouldn't they just you pay for your fuel and then you fill it up, and then once you've gone to your amount, it'll stop. Your fuel system will stop giving you fuel. Why didn't they just do that? Because obviously they're saying
they're getting £99 in that.
I know, that's what I mean.
Keeping that for 5 days. But the other thing is as well, if I go and fill my car up, I never know how much it's going to take. So if I paid say £30 and it's going to take 38, for example, Asda know they're going to lose that £8. So I might then just walk off and think, oh, 30, I've got 30. Whereas if I go and fill it up, if they do that first of all, they've then got that £38. Will you imagine in only one day how many of those £8, £5, £2, whatever they are, add up? Is an absolute fortune.
But I mean, I suppose that they'll argue, obviously, it's for the fact of the drivers not driving away and with not paying, which obviously they do. But
nowadays if they've got manned things with CCTV and all that.
I know, if there's a man there,
rare.
it's like you're not gonna. It's less chance of you doing it. Also, there's more people about and stuff.
I don't believe it's for that reason. I believe it's so they don't have to pay people to work there.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you get everything reliant on technology, just saying a point. I mean, it is pretty much common sense. If you have everything reliant on one thing, like if you had, I mean, for a small sample, if you had your whole house running off a hamster running around a wheel, that hamster dies, then you have you can't run your house.
Poor hamster. I've never thought of it that way.
Or the hamster thinks that I'm going on strike. Then
The hamster goes on strike.
then you can't actually fund your house, fuel, you can't,
That's one way of
like,
looking at it.
if you can't have any electricity, so you say if you had your kettle, your heating, your fridge, your car, if you have an electric car, then you can't actually go anywhere or do anything if everything's reliant off one thing. That's why you have to have loads of different things reliant off things, because if it all does it, then it obviously just all goes downhill.
Riley's Rumble says, I love the analogy of that, which I do. Right, I've got to do some of this.
Yeah.
You've asked people to comment,
Yeah,
and
sorry,
then they
no,
haven't the comments read out.
Go on.
So, obviously the question was, are we agreeing or disagreeing going cashless? So Neville says, at Kendall, and don't agree. Yes, they are, sorry, at Kendall, because the question wasn't it, at Kendall gone cashless? Yes, Asda at Kendall is cashless, and Neville says he doesn't agree. Green Wriggler says, live stream is better quality. I don't know why, whether they've done something with 3 and they've improved it, because I don't know if you listened before, but our connection went off today, and then it's only just come back on before the live, but yeah, it's better quality. Tracy agrees not to go cashless. Neville says that 10 years they've been cashless, Asda in Kendall.
I think the thing is, there's also one thing is... Oh, sorry.
Wriggler says, we will lose all our privacy, which is, obviously right. Simon Bliss says, cashless are too stressful for me to use. It's awful, I agree. It's just so much easier with cash. Grim Wriggler says, everything will be tracked. This is 1984 on steroids. Neville says...
I suppose you're talking about Taylor Swift CD.
I don't think you're talking about Taylor Swift
album. But no, yeah, I know you're talking about, Dory. I just wanted to get that in.
She loves Taylor Swift. So
I know the book. I've read the book.
She even managed to get Taylor Swift in cashless.
I've got 3 albums, by the way, but I'm going for the full set.
Neville says Big Brother. Curbside Classics says into an account, making them interest. Obviously, that's to Asda with the money. Tracy says, I also met a man the other day, and he has also been unfortunately caught up in the PO scam. Oh, that's shocking. That's a whole different story. I think there's too much on this one. So the UK are sending over an investigator to meet up with the Irish, so it's also happened that here. Grim Wriggler says, Mark of the Beast, Revelation 13.
Don't know what that means.
Curbside Classics say, I love cash.
Don't know what that means.
Grim Wriggler says, well done Matilda's mum, I use cash whenever possible, so do I. If I go to the supermarket and I haven't got any cash, I will withdraw cash out of the cash machine. I will go out of the thing.
Can I say a few points?
No, I think I just get caught up, because I want to do everybody's whether they agree or not, because we've obviously got to be fair on everybody, and this is one that's saying about Apple Pay. John says, Apple Pay, and probably Android too, doesn't require mobile connection, so it will still work if the network is offline. Riley's Rumble says, evening ladies, hello, hope you're alright. And then Tracy's replying to John and says, it doesn't. I was in a storm recently in Ireland, no electricity, so no Wi-Fi, nothing. No pay. SK says it's called a pre-authorisation amount. It's returned within seconds, apparently. And then SK says, I bet all the drug dealers are getting worried. They will have to buy a card machine. And Riley's Rumble says, if your house ran on cat by treadmill, they have 9 lives, you get more bang for your buck. Dark Star says, good evening.
No, but they sleep too much.
That's a lot of comments. Good evening. Thank you for interaction with the cashless thing. So I think there's a lot that don't agree with it going.
But a few of the points is like dancing about a few of them comments is they're saying it's not so much a fact of also internet, but if your phone runs out of charge, like my phone, if it gets down to like 50, then it'll just decide to just run down, like it will just go down. If you can't charge your phone, and obviously like Tracy was just saying, if tornado, which obviously is going to happen, is life, isn't it? Storms happen, then you can't actually charge your phone. So it's not just even internet, you can't actually charge that device.
Well, look, Apple and if it goes wrong, Apple Pay, if it goes wrong, how do you get in contact? I mean, this is nothing to do with paying, but for example, YouTube, I put sorry, it wasn't YouTube at all, it was Instagram. I put a video up which had quite a lot of 1,000 views, and it had one of our songs on, and it picked it up as somebody else's song. So then it said it's banned is our video in a lot of countries, but it was our own personal song. You can't do anything about that because you can't contact anybody. You can't pick up the phone and say, hang on a minute, that's our song, I've got evidence. Same with Spotify. I cannot get Snowflake that I wrote myself, well, we wrote, we made the music, we played on it, the guitarist that played on it, we were there, you know, he says that he played on it. And we cannot,
there's no technology
we
stuff on it
cannot
either.
get Snowflake on Spotify because it says that that part of it isn't our property, which it fully is. So you can't pick up the phone or walk into a Spotify office and say, well, hang on a minute, we've got all the evidence here. And that's what it's going to become like with your cash.
I remember when we were setting up YouTube, we had, when you get like a bit more like, hi, you have to go for this system, trust me, it's hard work. But it's like very hard work. We were there for weeks, weren't we, trying to work this out. And we could not contact a YouTube member. You know, like a staff member to say, how do we do this?
YouTube's a little bit better because if you go on and on and on and on through the system, there is actually a phone line you can get through. Yeah, but you have to go through the system. But like I say with Spotify and that, they just say, no, they sent an email. And so I thought, brilliant, we've got reply. I can reply an email. Typed it all out, proved it, got evidence from the recording studio that Snowflake was our own work. Not a reply, and I put it on before Christmas. So that's what I'm saying. I know that's nothing to do with cash, but once you rely on an electronic thing where there's no shops to go into, nobody to pick the phone up to, how do you sort it out when it goes wrong?
But I mean, you need like that social interaction. Like if you, my mother's been doing a lot for my brother's insurance, just like, you know, general, because my brother doesn't like doing it, so she does it, which is, you know, and she's good paperwork, obviously. And you know, when you're going through these people, you know, because I'm there listening, and like, once you have a good phone call person, it's all good and things flow and so many things go right, and then obviously sometimes you have bad ones, but like, it's so much different when you're on the phone actually talking to somebody, isn't it? Just on the phone, not even going, I mean, obviously it's better if you could go into somewhere, but even on the phone it's like better, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what you've got to think of also, I have a friend, right, same age as me, doesn't have a bank account, I don't have a bank account, we can pay by card obviously anywhere. I went into a shop the other day and we got some presents for my mother for Mother's Day. We're doing Mother's Day shopping, and they wouldn't take cash. But I said to them, well, because I did really want this thing. So I said to them, well, if I just give you the exact amount, is that all right? So they said, well, I mean, and they had like the minds clicking away. And I said to them, well, you know, it works. And I said to them, this is a form of currency. You know, you can't just get rid of it. And she says, oh, well, it's been since COVID. I said, well, it doesn't matter where it's been since. You can't get rid of it.
Yeah, but they can.
I know.
This is
but
the
this
thing,
is a form of currency,
and
technically, though.
It is.
It is technically a form of currency.
It is, but it's not. It's. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but I think I'm 100% right. You do not have to accept that currency.
She said about the fact of that. Oh, you know.
I'm sure you don't.
I think I remember saying the fact that we're a small business, but the only thing is I don't understand full in depth into that. But I suppose you're small business, then you lose your cash customers.
I would take for our business. I would take cash.
Because my friend
I
who I was with,
I would never dream of turning anybody away that wanted to pay.
My friend who I was with, who I don't really know her opinion on it, but she just sort of said, I don't like that shop. That was about it, really. But she just sort of said, I don't like that shop. And I was like, I'm not going back in there again. I mean, they were an alright shop. I mean, it was very expensive, but you know, it was an alright shop. But I mean,
but I just can't understand if you've got the money in your hand and you've got the exact amount. If they said,
I mean, she had to like do this receipt thing. She crossed it out and then wrote in cash, and I was like, what? I'm paying by cash like I'm a criminal. I don't know. So yeah,
you are.
I just but the thing is about this. I mean, I don't know if I have any. Should I read what that Twitter guy said on about the cash thing? Well, we never said about what Paul said.
Do you want me to read what Paul said?
Paul said. He took to the social media account. Where is his money? He asked. Where was his money? He says, you have got this question. He says, what's the best way to
resolve an issue?
When the £99 full
fuel charge
is still being withheld after a week, he asked. The pool change has...
So it says the petrol charge has been taken already, but the 99 is still being held. So, according to Paul on Twitter, they've got his 99 quid for over a week. Well, that's quite a good do, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you know, to be for a lot of people that can be your money. You know, sample. If you you said this point before. If you had this say you had £100, right? You thought, right, I've got £100. I'm gonna get £40 of fuel from Asda, and then I'm gonna go into Asda and spend £50 on my food shopping.
Yeah.
Right, and then you go into there, and I mean, I didn't know about this. You could get that, and you think, oh, where's my money gone?
Yeah.
And if you didn't know about it, come to think of it, you just think, well, where has my money gone? And then you'd have all this thing where you're ringing up the people saying, where's my money?
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, it's just...
But if you had cash, you wouldn't have that problem.
No.
Because you know how
But
much you've got.
the thing is, surely if they had like, I mean, I suppose it costs money to run. But you think of like other places, they have your building, right? So you go in there and you go pay by cash or a card or whatever. And you also have food, don't you? Surely it'd make enough more money if you going in there and think, oh, I'll just get a drink while I'm in here.
Yeah.
Surely they get more money that way.
Well, I don't know. They just obviously think it's easy. They're not paying any staff.
But the only thing is that I can think of also is that if they get all that money, so £99, that must obviously add up, then they can go invest that into something.
Exactly.
And then by the time they've invested it, it'll probably come... Well, I suppose it's not an ongoing thing. Actually, if you think about it, they actually just have endless money.
Well, yeah.
Because it just keeps coming in and out, isn't it?
If they put that
Because
into
every
an
time
account,
they spend
they're getting
it...
interest on it, and you're not getting any interest in it.
Yeah, every time it spends it just comes back in again, doesn't it? Anyway.
And you think about you going to past Asda and you see the queues sometimes for petrol, and all those people, they're getting £99 from each of those people. Even if they're getting it for a day, that's a lot of money.
Right.
So that's Asda.
Do you want to do any comments and then we'll move on to the next story?
There's quite a lot of comments. Flora, can I have a shout out? Yes. Tracy says shout out. Reese says,
Shout out to all.
Can you say Reese?
Reese? is that how I've never done a shout out before. What, do you just like shout somebody's name?
Just shout it anyway, then you've
Reese!
Reese!
Reese, everybody!
We've covered it.
Right,
Dark Star says that's a superb point, but I don't know if that's to do with your shout out. Tracy said good viewing tonight. Neville says received Reese, so Neville's on with a shout out. Preppy Lavender Cow says hi.
Hello.
Curbside Classic says I went to Tesco's garage the other day and couldn't believe it. I had to pay for tyre air with a debit card. You didn't. How much did you pay?
What?
You had to pay for tyre air.
Well, like
you had to pay for air.
I suppose I mean,
it's disgusting.
Fair enough paying for water, at least you get it clean, but you know.
Do you know Curbside Classics that Tesco's has been taken over by Barclays, the banking side of it?
No.
And they're closing all they've closed their branches in Bentham, Settle, Morecambe, and they're now closing in Lancaster, and that is packed. So it's not that they're not people going in.
Those areas that we've just named is inside like, you know, a close area of Lancashire. So basically Yorkshire as well. Then basically all that area, basically all of our area, we can't get to a Barclays.
No, and they're but when they closed Bentham, they said because they only had 13 customers. Well, we live opposite the bank, and you could see even with COVID times, they had to put.
Oh yeah, they line up outside.
Stickers outside because there had that many people queuing up, and you could just see people constantly going in that bank. And whenever I used it, you had to wait. It was never empty, so it was obviously a lie. There was more, but it was.
Well, I went in there.
But what's the excuse with Lancaster? Because it's packed every time you go in.
Well, it's a city, isn't it? It's Lancaster.
Yeah. So it's just absolute rubbish. Grim Wriggler says, "Wow, since COVID, they don't take cash."
I know they always use that. They always say that though, don't they? They always use that like sort of.
Riley's Ramble says, "I know a pub that will only take cash." Amy says,
I know a pub that only take cash. Card. No cash. No, we're saying the same thing.
Amy says, "How old are you?"
Me. Wait.
No, I don't think she's asking Neville. I think it'll be you.
I'm 15.
Dark Star says, I think Farage got the law changed. It must accept cash.
Well,
I don't think they did get the law changed, but I might be wrong.
I think what it is it wasn't just Farage, it was GB News in general, I believe. I think obviously he was a big part because they all had the big part of the campaigning for it. And what happened was I think they got it so it wasn't banned until a year. Obviously you don't want it banned at all. But I suppose it's a start. You know, they had to get it somewhere, so they had a petition. I did sign a petition, so it was like I don't know what year they got it to, but basically further.
I'm laughing at that. I'm laughing at these comments. Wait for this.
What?
Are you ready, everybody? Is Billy in the shed making a lampshade out of a car bonnet? That just sounds so funny.
To be honest with you, I think he's sat upstairs on his phone.
Yeah.
That's all
we'll
he's
have
doing.
to do that. Then we'll have to go to make a lampshade out of a car bonnet. We are going to a scrapyard to get a car bonnet. We are going to turn up with a car bonnet and he's going to make a lampshade out of it. That is absolutely brilliant. Ari says she loves your top.
Oh, thank you. It cost me £18.99, can you believe?
Tracy says, is anyone else getting a repeat of the news? What does that mean?
I accidentally did a live before I went on with That's It. I accidentally did a live, but I don't know. I cut it off because I thought I went live. And
Well, can everybody see?
I had to redo it. Well, repeat would mean it playing over again.
Yeah, but she's not playing over while she's watching.
What do you mean?
Well, is the channel running? All right.
Well,
It must be because you're getting comments. And what was the other thing that I've missed a comment now? I'm looking up. Neville. The banks are proposing hubs that offer all bank services under one roof. Yeah, but they're not. I might be wrong, Neville. But are they taking cash?
But see, the thing is, at Barclays, what they've done is they've moved to the library, which is next to us. It's slightly annoying, you get more people. But when they've moved to the library, they also have this big sign that blows over constantly. And then you get them all smoking outside. But anyway, they've moved next door to us. Just...
I don't care as long as they take cash.
Yeah, but they don't.
I know they don't. That's
Because what they've done is basically just you go in there and have a chat, which sure, it's I suppose it's better than nothing, but you can't actually go in there, take cash, or you can't put in a cheque as well. One of the things is that checks, nobody
Oh no, they don't take checks.
Nobody talks about it as well.
Because our next door neighbour's quite, well, I don't want to say elderly in case she's watching, but she's of that age that she wants to use cash.
We have
and
loads
checks.
of next door neighbours, so we can talk about anybody really.
Because we've got quite a lot. And she said to me, she went in and she came out, she says, I won't even take a cheque, never mind cash. So she couldn't even give a cheque in. And there was another one that I've missed again, and I've got to go back to it because it was about a question that we've asked. Oh, this is Curbside Classics. 50p he had to pay for air, and he was in a 1968 Ford Anglia. Who dare do that to somebody in a 1968 Ford Anglia? That's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Disgraceful.
I'd have just said, "Here's the air." If you're in a 1968
well, yeah,
Ford,
I'd
have given you the petrol.
There wouldn't have been another person there, would there? There wouldn't have been a person there to know.
No, there wouldn't be. They wouldn't.
No.
I bet they wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as we would.
No.
That's disgusting. 50p. I'd have tried to blow it in myself. Rather than charging 50p if he's in a 1968 Ford Anglia. The man needs respect. Harry says, hi, how are you? Fine, thank you very much. And SK's put checks and started laughing.
We need checks, we need checks.
And Neville's put, the post offices are all that's left on the street and no guarantees there. There isn't.
Guarantees what?
I tell you what, the post office we haven't even done any news, we've gone really off subject. But I tell you what the post office have done now, they're dropping a leaflet, I don't know if anybody else has got one, saying, can you please go online? So they're trying to stop you from going into the post office. So I thought, no. And I've been down taking all your CDs. Well, you take a lot, I must admit. But we are actively going to the post office and paying cash every time.
I get my diary, your diary. Every year from the post office, I go down there and I get my diary from the post office. I nearly got a bit obsessed. I nearly bought 3 diaries just to choose which diary I wanted. But I bought 2 and I've got rid of one. I haven't got rid of it, I just used it and now I've got a big one now. But yeah, if that post office wasn't there, I couldn't get my diary.
Edward's put the Ford Anglia was worth 50p. I'd have any Ford Anglia for 50p. Tracy says, I think I'm behind on the news. Riley's Rambles say, we pay at garage for the tyre in Essex, have done for years. Do you know when I was younger and I worked at a garage, you go out, serve the petrol and pump the tyres up and do the water for them and everything.
You did what, sorry?
Well, you did that as a job. When you went, your car would pull up, you'd go out. I worked at a petrol station.
Did you?
Yeah. And you used to go out, would you like any air in your tyres? Or would you like any water? No, it's all gone.
I suppose there's nice cars to see.
Grim Wriggler says, buy a foot pump or cold presser. Mushroom says, hello from Ireland. Hello.
Tracy, if you just maybe go off it and come back on again, and then what you might have done, you might possibly have accidentally swiped it back. Go on.
SK says, do they do postal orders? I don't know, I haven't done postal orders for years, but I wouldn't
What's a postal order?
I wouldn't think they do. You used to, so if I wanted to send you £10, so that it didn't get lost in the post or get nicked, you'd write out a postal order, you take your £10 and they do a postal orders. Curbside Classic says, that's where I'm in Essex too. Edward James says, in the good old days, air at the garage was free. Well, I just thought it was free.
I've never got air from the garage, but,
Lily says, say my name. Just shout out Lily.
Lily! Lily the flower lily.
SK says, Sainsbury's used to do free air until a year ago. I can't believe that I have got a pump. We have got a pump.
I did today. I was filming. We were just doing a film, and I just saw some of those white flowers that you come around this year. And I can't remember if they're called snowbells. Are they called snowbells?
No.
Because I did a video saying no snowbells.
No, they're called snow.
So if it's been posted, then I'm going.
No, they're not snowbells.
What are they called? They're not bluebells. They're white.
What do they call them? You've just made me keep calling them snowbells now because you've said it.
You should sort of come around this time of year, and they're like little small things,
I know exactly what
and
they
they have
are.
little hangy things, and Snowdrop.
Snowdrop, that's
Right,
it.
so if you
Sorry,
see a video of me calling them
I
wrong...
couldn't go with snowbells because she'd said it in my head.
So if you see a video of me saying it, then I didn't mean to. I didn't remember
Edward
what it
says,
called.
luckily air that we breathe is still free. I bet it won't be for long, you know.
No. Well, I don't know what video it's called, but they charge for air. I mean, it's a movie. No, they do. No, it's a movie. It's a movie. You've got in the chop down all the trees, right? It's a cartoon.
They would do if they could.
No, it's very famous.
Yeah,
Seriously,
yeah.
He chopped down all the trees to sell this piece of material for clothing, and he chopped them all down. And there was no air, and this corruption guy built this city, charged everybody for air. But it turns out, and just charged everybody for air. And the only way they fixed it was somebody found this one seed, right, regrowed it, and everything was back to normal. But then what he did was he charged air. Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I don't know.
Well.
I don't know what the movie's called. It's a cartoon. Taylor Swift voiced over one of the people in there.
Taylor Swift, so all she's doing is anything you say is she will turn it round to Taylor Swift.
That doesn't matter.
Taylor Swift did that. Taylor Swift used to charge for air, and she didn't charge for air. I bet Taylor Swift's been charged more for air.
Should we move on to the next story?
Curbside Classic says Total Recall, so that's the film.
No, it isn't.
Well, that's what it says.
I don't think it is.
Well,
Is
I think it might be right.
No, he's got like this then they're like little bears and stuff, and they're all cartoons.
He drives
and
a Ford,
tall
he drives
guy.
a Ford Anglia, so he'll be correct.
I just don't think
He'll
it
be
is.
right. I think he is.
I don't know what it's called. I mean, it might be right, to be honest.
Grim Wriggler says the taxes
I don't actually know what it's
for
called.
breathing and farting if they could. Felicity, can you shout her name as well?
Felicity! Felicity!
50
don't know how to. I don't know anybody called Felicity, actually.
Says, I used to take travellers' checks to the USA instead of cash, but they have stopped doing them too. Okay, so stop doing anything. Oh, God, wait for this.
Well,
You're not going to like it.
Well,
You're not going to like it at all.
I'm going to have to cope with
Just
it.
to see what Edward says, you won't cope with this.
Well,
Taylor Swift is a manufactured pop singer with little talent. God, Edward's brave. That's stumped you, hasn't it? That's taken the air out of you.
well,
You're not allowed to say anything about Taylor Swift.
some of her songs can be very dreary, right? And be very boring.
Edward.
Some of the songs can be good. Some of the songs are very good. I like them.
Gritted
I like
teeth,
paper.
Edward.
I like Paper Rings. I like Me. I like Shake It Off. Shake It Off. But I like her as a person and a performer. I think she's a very good performer.
Never
Anyway.
says Edward's blacklisted. He's very brave. I wouldn't dare say that.
I mean, I do spend the majority of my spare time watching videos of Taylor Swift.
And Raymond Legg says because of Brexit, probably.
I don't know. We don't really have an opinion on Brexit, do we?
No, yeah, but that's not about Taylor Swift. That's going back further up there. So not because of Taylor Swift hasn't got any talent because of Brexit. They can't blame that on Brexit.
I mean, she sings live. There's no tape recording or anything. Though I'm not saying this is not about Taylor Swift. No, carry on. I think I got told this not to say anything about public, so I just not. I just thought that. I thought actually, come to think of it.
And Naya, Pakistan official vlog. I nearly said it wrong. Says hi. So
Hello.
hi. So that's been great interaction about the cash.
Wait till you see the next one we've got. Wait till you see the next topic we've got. And you can really interact with as well.
I'm absolutely shattered. And Lottie says, "What's your favourite movie?" Just go get some popcorn. Do you want to make a brew? That stumped you. And moving on to the next news.
Can I come back?
Yeah. Can we do that next week? That's a very difficult question.
Oh, I tell you, if you watched last week, we couldn't remember the name of the pizza place, and I was going to look into it, and I've forgotten. I'll tell you next week.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no, I've got some news. Oh, no, carry on. I'll just remind me to say about the fact of... Remind me, everybody, that there's, in 2 weeks' time, something's changing on the news. Right, carry on.
This is... I don't get this. I don't know if it's trying to be abusive or not, but
Uh-huh.
you look like if a man and a woman had a baby. Anyway, right, moving on.
Okay, so moving on. You need to get the picture up.
A picture of what?
The picture up.
What are we moving on to?
Don't say the word.
Oh, right.
It ruins everything.
Right, sorry.
By the way, next week, not next week, next week, but the week after. I'm just waiting for the news. So I'm
shattered.
Not next week, but the week after. I've got a theatre production. Right, you can come to it if you like. It's in Morecambe. It's a musical about Alien, but I'm doing 2 shows on a Saturday, right? And I cannot do the Saturday news because of when I do the Saturday news. It happens to be the time the show starts. Right, I'm pretty pretty impossible for me to do this. So I'm going to change it to Sunday. I'll get the date for you exactly. I'm going to change it to Sunday, and we're still going to do it at 6:30. It's just going to be a different date. So it's just going to be on the Sunday. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly get you the day. So it will be on the 25th. I will be doing the news. Not next week, but the week after will be the 25th. Okay, moving on.
Right, sorry, picture.
I think we got a few comments there.
Right.
Now, according to the House of
Hold
Lords,
it for a while.
according to the House of Lords, this gentleman here is the person who is to blame for the decline in sales of electric cars. Mr. Bean, he's done it again!
Look at a little terror. Bless him.
Driving around inside his Mini, he's done it again. He's done the decline in electric sales of electric cars. Yes, that's right. Rowan Atkinson, who is 69 years old, he is very famous for not only being Mr. Bean, but playing Johnny English and Blackadder, which I've watched all of his stuff. Brilliant actress and guy. And he also, I think he was also did a lot on Top Gear as well, didn't he? I think he's sort of like
he was the star in the car in Top Gear.
Yes, he was a stand car, but I think my memory is correct. I think he actually got the fastest score. Like he obviously, James Clarkson has this leaderboard, doesn't he, of the times that they go around the track. I think he got the fastest, didn't he?
But I think he is a racing driver.
Is it?
Does anybody know? I think yeah, he is a racing driver. I'm sure he is.
Yeah, but I'm not sure he'd be very fast if he got onto Top Gear. Yeah, right.
He does because Mr. Bean's the character he plays. He can
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah, he's done a lot because I'm going to say something else he's done here as well. He's done quite a lot in his life. I'm actually very jealous. But he's achieved quite a lot, hasn't he?
He's absolutely hilarious in Blackadder. I love him.
Yeah,
I think he was wonderful.
But what's happened is the House of Lords. You're going to have to help me in this one. The House of Lords has blamed him for.
No. The Lord. No.
No. Yeah, I'm getting to that point.
All right.
Say they blamed him for the sales of electric cars, but because of.
No. The House of Lords haven't blamed him. The Green Alliance pressure group said that one of the most damaging articles was a comment piece written by Rowan Atkinson in The Guardian, which has been roundly debunked. And they were telling that to the Lords Environment and Climate Change Committee. So Atkinson who's obviously we put about Blackadder, he's got a degree in electrical engineering and control systems.
Clearly knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, but he's got an opinion though. I think this is more that he's obviously allowed an opinion.
Yeah.
And they're saying that because he's put out his opinion, that's what's.
Yeah, so what's happened is
sales.
he did an article in June last year, and he said his opinion. Obviously, like we just said, his opinion, which obviously anybody can have their own opinion. It's perfectly fine. And then obviously it's been declining electric car. Decline in the sales of electric cars because obviously people have had their people have seen what his point was and maybe obviously probably believed him but I don't suppose it's just him, like really it's not it's not just him.
Proof, have they?
Well, no proof actually because he's just putting his point out, but I suppose that's what they're staking is the problem, but he obviously has that opinion, but I think what happened is he actually had an electric car for 9 years, right, and then he's come to the conclusion, which I'm just going to feel like he says, I feel a little bit duped by them, I feel that our honeymoon with electric cars is coming to an end, and that's not a bad thing, he wrote inside his piece. And I think he's realised what actually is wrong with them and about the fact of the batteries and stuff, hasn't he?
Yeah, he put they're soulless, a bit soulless, and he put in his comment piece in the Guardian in June of last year.
And I think somebody said about the fact of the Green Party, I don't think they really drive at all. And they said about the fact of that obviously Rowan Atkinson's actually experienced electric cars, so he's not like somebody that's had the opinion not getting one, he's actually got them, tried it, and then thought, he's had a long time to think, 9 years, but he's actually got them, and then thought, right, actually, it's not actually that good.
Well, Greg Smith, who's the member of the Commons Transport Committee, said it's total hypocrisy for people that don't even drive EVs themselves to have the barefaced cheek to tell us they should drop an absolute ton of money on one. People should be free to choose what cars they buy and drive. The reliability issues with battery electric cars are real, and to try and sweep that under the carpet is just potty. That's what he said.
So, I mean, I want to know your opinion. Is Mr. Bean to blame?
No! Not Rowan Atkinson.
Mr. Bean.
No!
It's Mr. Bean.
He can't be. He's lovely.
Yeah.
I think he's very funny as well, so he can't be blamed for anything.
And he's got his cartoon as well. I was thinking, you know, on the cartoon, give the cartoon Mr. Bean. I was wondering if he did the voiceover on it. Because he don't really speak. But you'd
No,
have
he
to
really
pay...
don't.
but you'd have to pay Rowan Atkinson to go, like that.
Well, you would do, wouldn't you? I'd pay Rowan Atkinson to go, I think he's wonderful.
I mean, they've got a lot of money to pay Rowan Atkinson. Can we, if you're watching Rowan Atkinson, can we do a video about it?
Can you say first? That's what he did on... that's what Jeremy Clarkson did.
Yeah.
He just got him to say stuff on Top Gear, I remember now, and he got him to just say normal words like Bob.
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 I literally watched it today. But what else he did was he said, if you were a presenter on the show, can you give me your reaction if you see this car? And he named one of the cars. I think it was a very fancy car. And he sort of like went, I don't know how to react to it, but he basically gave a facial expression. Then he said something like Land Rover something, which I think was, I don't know if it was supposed to be a posh thing or something. Then he gave like a posh, like, he can do a lot with his face, hence the reason why he's done so well.
He's hilarious.
He can do so much with his face. And also he did a lot with, I remember watching, he did like sort of his own comedian shows, didn't he?
Yeah. Is anyone having a problem with sound? Because Riley's rambles is.
I'm sorry, I can't do anything. I'm sorry. Like,
Just don't rock backwards and forwards.
I don't. I'm literally, I can't do anything at all. Sorry.
Right, there's just loads of comments.
Okay.
James May has come out to dismiss electric cars.
I thought you said James May. I thought you said James May has said. What? Okay.
No, we've got James May commenting. No, James May has come out to dismiss the electric cars. I like James May as well.
I think he made a house out of Lego.
Neville says nothing to
Like
do with
full-size
batteries
house.
exploding then, and I don't know what that's related to, whether it's the electric car.
Well,
but I don't know
yeah,
which
they
comment
explode, don't they, the electric?
Yeah, but I don't know which comment he's going back to. But Jason says hello, Jason. And Neville says, and what about the huge depreciation, lack of infrastructure, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Edward says, well, Hertz in the USA have offloaded 20,000 electric hire vehicles as customers don't want them due to mainly to range anxiety. I read that as well.
I happen to have a point about that.
Tracy says she's agreed about Taylor. I think that will probably be green with you, not that she's talentless.
Hey, can I just say this point? I think one of the things is the rent out companies. I think they've sort of, I only saw this once. I think they sort of may cut back on them. Because of if somebody crashes or something goes wrong with the car, just a slight dint on the battery means they have to redo it almost £10,000, so it's not worth it for the companies.
Neville says, no, we love him. I think that will be about Mr. Bean.
Right. I thought it can't be Taylor Swift, okay.
And then Raymond says, now if electric cars had some sort of dynamo to turn the wheels motions back into electricity, why don't they? Why don't they have that?
But one of the points is I just happen to know a lot about it. But the fact is that
she's got a degree in electrical engineering.
But the thing
Mr. Bean.
And the thing is, obviously a car is like double or half or something like that, as heavy as a normal car. And one of the main points is not only is everything towards the car and manufacturing everything apart from that, and in fact it only lasts for 10 years. That's probably why he got rid of his car, because it only lasted 9 years. But obviously those are so many different points, as if obviously ours is still lasting 70 years old or something. 50, but so on. They only last 10 years. But one of the points is the fact is that because they're so heavy, when they break, obviously you use more tyre wear. So the tyre thing and the particles and stuff is actually the most worst thing for the environment. And I'm not being judgmental, but if you're inside an electric car, you're sort of the people that break more.
If you actually, I've had a look at this obviously to get the news and everything. If you go, and I know a lot of people don't like the Daily Mail, but on this particular thing, they've done a very good article on Rowan Atkinson because they've put a lot of the actual evidence and facts on it. So it's quite interesting, and they've compared combustion engine vehicles to electric vehicles and how much CO2 they produce on manufacture. So it is quite an interesting read. So what others said? Fire says Bob. And then Raymond says Top Gear was ruined when they tried to nick Clarkson. Once they'd gone. Well, yeah. I've never watched Top Gear since those three went, because they were. I mean, some of the things they did were just so funny. They were just unbelievable.
And also, I suppose, like, you know, things like they did things that were dangerous as well, which, I mean, you know, obviously
when they nowadays. Took the caravan and that down the down the railway track.
Yeah,
it was just classic. It's just brilliant.
I mean, and like, you know, going off the side of cliffs and stuff when they're on like roads and going up really steep hills, you know, like everything that they just did. And then obviously they had something happen with the Stig as well, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought he had a crash, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought you knew about that.
I don't know anything about that. I just thought it stopped. I thought it just...
No, I think something
they changed the Stig.
Yeah, because they didn't change Stig. I think Stig went.
What happened to the Stig?
Like something happened to him, like he had an injury.
We didn't know him. He'd had a white hat on.
No, I think because of like there were talks of who it was. I'm sure you mentioned it. I
don't think so. Neville says when someone invents a can of electricity to keep in the boot.
Oh, but actually something. Didn't somebody? I don't know much about it, but I think something happened where a bit ago, somebody invented a car that could run off water, and somebody murdered him. Because they invented a car that can run off water, and obviously they didn't want that.
Right. Hydrogen power for cars. Oh, this is Riley's Rambles. Hydrogen power for cars has also been explored by some manufacturers. And Edward says, I've no doubt that in years to come, a clean, efficient propulsion system will be with us. Well, according to Matilda, it's already been.
Well,
you said it. Go on a car.
Yeah,
it's already
but
been.
Also, one
of
the things I was just thinking is that coal place in Wales it's closed down, which is now being run off. Is it electric? I think. But it's another thing that's just all going to be reliant off electricity. Right, I mean, it's not like I'm not saying electric's a bad thing. It's just if you have everything reliant on one thing, can't be good.
Well, then you're going back to your cash, aren't you? And
going back.
So there's nothing wrong with a card. I've used a card for years.
Yeah.
But if you start to rely on something,
it's everything. It all just matches in together, doesn't it? All these points actually all lead to really one subject of electric.
Right. What are you doing? Which one are you doing now?
Well, we have
to do the jokes.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We do have the other story.
Do you want to do the other story?
Well, you got a few other stories, really. Okay, so this is a really weird one, but I found it last night, and so I'm going to tell you about it. I haven't actually read it too much, but I mean, I'm going to tell you a bit about it. How do you pronounce it? Is it
Peter?
Peter.
Peter, not Peter. Peter.
Peter, which I think is it like an animal company place?
Yeah, it's very similar to like the RSPCA, so they just do animal welfare.
Well, what they've said is that that these need to be banned. So horses, merry-go-rounds need to be banned. So I mean, I've been on one of them. I'm sure majority of you inside one point of your life has been on a merry-go-round, and the fact that they wanted to ban the horses because they say that it's obviously I want your opinion on all of this, please do. And they say the fact is that it's cruelty to the animals because of they're making you think the fact of that an animal is there for own personal enjoyment rather than the fact that the animal has personal feelings like factors that they can feel pain, happiness, and so forth, so on.
Well, it says that with them sentient beings, so that they people then think that they can abuse them basically because they're going around in circles. And what they've done is they've sent a letter to the Kansas-based Chance Rides, arguing that using designs of horses and other animals for the merry-go-round unintentionally celebrates the exploitation of animals that are thinking, feeling, affectionate, playful and social beings. So they're wanting them to actually stop using horses on their merry-go-rounds and using other things instead.
Yeah, they wanted to use things like rockets, cars and rainbows. But I mean...
And brooms.
Mm.
Mummy, can I ride round on the broom, please?
I understand. I mean, I don't really know where I stand, but I mean, I understand that there's animal cruelty out there, but I just don't feel like going on a merry-go-round is going to do it. I mean, realistically, is it going to do anything?
I don't think people will get on I don't think anybody that gets on a merry-go-round and thinks, right, I'm going to now go abuse a horse, wouldn't already have the thought of abusing a horse in their
head. You have to get hold of the horse.
It's not going to start off that, is it? It's not going to start.
But if anything, it can make you make you appreciate it more because you might get a fan of horses then, and obviously if you're a fan of horses, you're not going to hurt it. It might even do the opposite effect. So which I mean for what they're saying. So you actually like the horses more.
Raymond says Peter wants to ban metal horses. Maria says, hello from Madrid. We've got somebody from Spain.
I've got a friend who's Spanish.
Raymond says, go back to steam power cars and builds bunker. 50KE Vin says, do you like watching The Masked Singer? Hope he's not watching The Masked Singer instead of our news channel.
I think it's on a Saturday. We don't actually have a TV, just because of, we had a TV, it broke, and then my brother got a really big TV and it was just horrible to look at, and it was just horrible, and that broke. And then we just don't really bother, because of, if we watch anything, we just sort of watch it on the iPod, like, YouTube sort of thing. So we don't really bother about our TV, so to be honest with you, no, I don't watch The Masked Singer.
No. So the answer to that is no. Jason says, see you next week. See you, Jason.
Bye.
And Riley's Ramble says, so does Peter want us to stop riding actual horses, I wonder? Mad. I think they're probably moving on to that.
But see, the thing is also, like, horses, you used to be a professional horse rider, so obviously you know a lot about this. Horses, if they're stuck inside a field, they get bored, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
You need to, give them attention.
They're all different, like anybody. I would have horses that just loved being riding, loved racing, and you had other ones that didn't want to know.
Well, you had a horse
they have a character to themselves.
Yeah, you say your horses, they can be so excited for a race. They mean so excited for a race, they can wear themselves out.
Yeah, I did have a racehorse, and he used to get so excited that it was no good at racing. It'd always come second, third and fourth. It could never win it because it lost so much energy. We just couldn't calm it at all. And it used to just have sweat dripping off its stomach, so it had lost so many electrolytes and energy before it went. It never won. It used to get seconds and thirds and stuff, but just never won it.
So a lot of horses can enjoy it. I mean, I can understand that some horses might not like the racing, but I mean, I know like Dry National last year, they had the problem where people you had the protesters, but I mean there's not really that cruelty anymore, isn't there? I think in the olden days, if the horse broke the leg, didn't they just like kill them? But that didn't really happen nowadays, does it?
Well, they can't. The trouble is, if they break the leg, even if you're the most wonderful horse owner in the world, you've got to leave them suspended without any weight on the legs because of the weight of them, so it can be quite cruel that way, for the leg to mend. So that's another talk. Is that the vets will be for it and against it, so it's quite a difficult one. Is that so I've gone on to there. James said, we did see the Tanjmere today. Yeah,
we
James,
did. We just managed to catch it.
I'll get the video sorted. I'll hopefully get it on tonight. We only just managed because we went in the classic car.
And we had to get some fuel before, and then we were sort of like a bit slow up, and then because of Ribble Head, when you go down the road, you can see the full Ribble Head, and we saw steam, and we thought, so we just managed to get it in time, like literally just managed.
And Raymond says, rest in peace, cheap, crappy giant TV. It was a cheap, crappy well, it probably wasn't cheap, and he got it, somebody gave it to him, and he was so gleeful with it. It was about the size of the flat was this TV. And he said,
took him a whole table.
Oh, he was so excited when he come in. Look what I've got. Look what this person's given me. I think he'd gone to do a job. And I said, why do you think they've given it you, Billy? Because it's nearly the size of the flat.
And see, the thing is, because it was so big, what it do is it cut down the screen, and it was like all big and blurry, and it was just like, it's horrible.
It cost about £50 an hour to run because it was that big. It was like, people were coming round with popcorn thinking they're at the cinema. We had queues outside the flat. You see it outside almost.
I don't know how it broke, but thank God it did.
It did, yeah. We did. By the way, we didn't break it.
Because we'd say to him, we hate this TV, because we wouldn't watch it. We'd watch our iPod, and we'd say we hate this TV, and he obviously, stubborn as he is, he'd say no. I don't know how it broke, but it just broke, and then we left it a few days, we didn't want to do it straight away because he'd moan, so then we just sort of tidied up and just went.
Do a GB News things. Billy's not here to defend himself. He would say he doesn't moan.
Say Billy's point.
Billy's point is he doesn't moan. So anyway, we saw him one morning, didn't we? And he's there at breakfast, and he goes, the TV's broken. So we're like, yes! Great.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Oh, what a shame about that lovely TV. Diana says hello.
Hello, Diana. I mean, I was going to say about the Diana. Hello, Diana. Diana's a nice name. I suppose the thing is because obviously you had Diana.
Princess Diana.
Yeah, Diana, You say it a few times, people get the point. Then I feel like, I think it'll come back into fashion now, eventually.
So you don't think Diana's got a fashionable name?
No, I think it's going to come back into fashion.
Right. I think Diana's a lovely name.
No, I think it's a lovely name, but the thing is, you don't call somebody Boris now, do you?
We called our hedgehog Boris.
Yeah, but that's different. I mean, even when we called hedgehog Boris, we still had people say, "Did you name after Boris?"
Oh yeah, I see what you mean because Diana, because she was so famous. But
Yeah.
I think it's a
But
lovely
I think it's going off now. I mean, you know, like Diana is a really lovely name.
name. Neville says, you'll have to rename the show News Hour soon. I know we've waffled.
So there's 54 minutes.
We've waffled. We've really gone off. But at least that's because everybody's been interacting.
Yeah, we love you interacting. Don't forget to bring your news. You know,
Braxton says hi.
we still have two other news stories.
We can't
you know.
have more.
Yeah. Right. Should we do Tracy's first?
Oh yeah, we've got Tracy. Oh my God, I've nearly forgot last time, didn't I?
So my auntie Tracy lives in Ireland, right? She's watching this. She watches every one, apart from she did miss one.
We did. We noted that you missed one, Tracy.
No, she did say about it. It's alright. She was in Wales, but she's in Wales. She lives there, so this makes sense.
She wasn't in Wales. She doesn't live in Wales.
Ireland. Sorry. Ireland. Yeah, and she was. Could you, if you could, Tracy, can you comment this? She did send me a voice message, but to be honest with you, I only got it like half an hour before the show, so I couldn't listen. I listened to it, but it doesn't mean I digested it all. But basically, I think what happened was she heard about this whale and went and saw it, and I'm going to show you a picture of it. And he washed up on the shore. You see, I should probably say if you don't
do it longer because
no, I'm going to go back to it. If you don't like violent pictures. I'm a proper
you must say it's a death. Shows a dead animal. So if you don't
sorry
want
if I
to,
just
sorry,
showed that. Sorry.
just put it. It shows a dead animal. So if you don't want to see a dead animal, just look away while she shows it.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just showed it then. Sorry. Okay. So here's the picture. This is and obviously you can see it's like bulging and stuff. So that's the whale. And what happened was we had a storm, you see, and it sort of like washed up onto shore. She went there and she sort of like finds the fact that nobody's reported about it, like local news stories haven't reported about it, and also I believe the Ireland's Whale and Dolphin Society, they said that they don't really know what to do with it because if it pops it can release like, I don't know, gases or something can really. I'm not an expert. You can release something, and then it can be, chemical to humans.
Yeah, it will be.
But I mean, what happened was I think it washed up and it was still alive, but it was very ill. But I mean, obviously it's a very sad story. But I mean, not many people reported about it. It happened about 2 or last week or so, but Tracy did send it to me, but she like sort of put like she put something on it, and I was like I didn't know if to post it or not, but it turns out I was supposed to post it. But yeah, okay. So sorry, I'm a few weeks behind, but we have posted it now.
Bless it.
I mean, it is obviously very, very sad.
I think it's sadder when they come up alive, you know, because obviously you just can't get them back in, can you? And even if you could, because they've got up there because there's obviously something wrong with it, isn't there? Otherwise it wouldn't be there. But it's just sad,
it was a storm.
Well, yeah, but whales aren't bothered about storms.
True.
It's just sad that it's come up alive. You'd rather it come up dead so it doesn't suffer, don't you? Bless it. But
and then this is a very change of subject, but Mother Day, I would like to read a few jokes
no,
here.
I wouldn't. Somebody had put. I just thought it was going to be at the beginning. Actually, it's a bit late. We're finishing off now, but it was just that somebody's put on. I saw it on the internet. It just came up on my news feed. They've typed out 200 knock jokes. So I was gonna start it so that you put your knock jokes, but she's forgotten about it. So I'll just do these few and then we're finished. Knock.
Who's there?
A door.
A door who?
A door is between us, so open up. These are the better ones out of the 200, by the way. These are the best. I picked the best. I scrolled through them for you to get the best. All right, knock.
Who's that?
Abby.
Abby who?
Happy birthday to you. Knock.
Who's that?
Cargo.
Cargo who?
Cargo toot toot vroom vroom. Knock.
Who's that?
Wendy.
Wendy who?
Wendy Bell gonna start working. The final one, it's gonna stop, believe me. Knock.
Who's that?
Mikey.
Mikey who?
My key doesn't fit in the keyhole. So I just thought, if somebody's taken the time to write out 200 knock jokes, you've got to read them off.
Knock.
Oh, have you got one? Who's there?
Sam
who?
Sandwich. Sandwich, I don't know. Oh, no.
Oh, God. Who's there?
Doctor.
Ha. Well enough over that.
Okay. Is there
Edward says, I used to see hundreds of dolphins when I lived in New Zealand. So I just adore dolphins.
we've
I
been
think they're just so, just magical. They make me cry when I see them. I just think they're so wonderful. I love them.
We've talked about this inside a separate news channel show about Fact of Nuki. I mean, we won't go into it because we've been there for hours talking about it, but brilliant place for dolphins.
Yeah, it was wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you all so much for watching.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for the interaction.
I think it's probably been one of our best nights so far. I mean, you must say, because of so much interaction, so much people getting involved. So please, everybody, bring in your news, interact every single time news. Do not forget. I can't remember what date it was, but not this week, next week. I think it was like 20.
Can you do another call out?
Oh yeah, sure.
Now, sorry if I pronounced this wrong, but is it Meti? I think it is, but I might be wrong.
Meti, if that's the right name. Hello.
Edward says je adore.
No, Zordo. I speak Italian, but anyway.
Braxton says rest in peace, obviously for the whale. Oh, je adore was my answer to the knock question, by the way.
Oh.
And I think that's everything. And Neville says Doris is the latest in name. Yeah, Doris is. Great
Doris
name,
is
Doris. The latest in
yeah,
name,
yeah,
Doris.
yeah.
Everybody's going to be called Doris after that now, Neville. And I've emailed you back, by the way. So that's everything. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you very much, and please do join in next week. Don't forget the week after that. It's all fine next week, but the week after that, it will be on a Sunday at 6:30, and then we'll go back to normal. It's just because I had my show. And thank you all so much for watching. Do not forget to bring in your news, and look out for my future videos coming soon.
And Riley's Ramble says, great show. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for watching and joining in. Edward says, cheers all. Thank you so much for watching and joining in. You've been great.
And don't forget also to watch the videos on the steam train where we saw, and not
I'll
only
try and
today,
get it on tonight.
not only today, but the one of filling up with
it'll be late.
Stuff.
I'm going to go get my tea now, so then I'll do it. So it'll be quite late, but I'll try and get the Tangier on tonight.
Thank you all for watching again.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.